The unseen menace. The tranquility of Earth's orbital defense fleet was shattered as the Denobulan Armada, a fearsome force of 500 warships, emerged from warped space near Pluto. Commander John Miller, stationed aboard the Titan, watched in horror as the alien ships materialized on the viewscreen. The sleek, black Denobulan vessels were a stark contrast to the human ships, bristling with advanced weaponry and radiating a menacing aura. Lieutenant Commander Ravi Singh's voice cut through the tension, confirming the grim reality. Earth's fleet was outnumbered 3-1. On the Denobulan flagship, Warlord Vortis regarded the human defenders with contempt. His experience in conquering multiple worlds led him to underestimate the primitive Terrans. As he prepared to issue the order to attack, his science officer's report of an anomalous energy reading from the human fleet was dismissed with a wave of his hand. The Denobulan ships unleashed a ferocious volley of plasma torpedoes, streaking towards the human defenses like deadly comets. To Vortis's astonishment, the human ships emerged unscathed, their energy barriers absorbing the incoming barrage. John Miller's cold smile was a rare sight as he ordered his fleet to return fire. Human ships retaliated with unguided kinetic slugs, their impacts tearing through the Denobulan defenses. The initial surprise attack devastated the alien fleet, with 2 destroyers and a cruiser reduced to fiery debris. The Titan maneuvered through the chaotic battlefield, its advanced AI working overtime to counter the alien onslaught. A glimmer of hope. Despite the human fleet's initial success, Vortis's fury grew. He ordered a more intense assault, launching hundreds of plasma torpedoes to overwhelm the human point defenses. The Titan shuddered under the impact of a plasma torpedo, but its ablative armor held firm. The human ships continued their relentless attack, turning the tide of battle. Vortis's desperation mounted as he realized the human shields could track and deflect his weapons, while their projectiles slipped past his defenses. In a final desperate measure, Vortis ordered his flagship on a collision course with the Titan. The Denobulan dreadnought charged forward, its weapons blazing. John Miller's eyes narrowed as he commanded his ship to engage its powerful nuclear plasma emitters. The beams pierced the alien flagship, resulting in a blinding fireball. As Vortis fled in a shuttle pod, he issued a fleet-wide withdrawal order. His frustration was palpable as he witnessed several of his ships breaking away for a suicidal final strike on Earth. A desperate gamble. The human fleet, battered but not broken, scrambled to intercept the retreating Denobulan ships. John Miller took a squadron of his most maneuverable vessels to thwart the kamikaze attack. Racing against time, the human ships closed the gap with the accelerating alien vessels. Despite their best efforts, the Denobulan ships remained stubbornly on course for Earth. With a heart-stopping decision, John ordered his fleet to form up and prepare grappling harpoons. As the alien ship neared the atmosphere, the harpoons were deployed, gripping the massive vessel. The human ships fought against the ship's momentum, slowly altering its trajectory. The grappling lines snapped, and the alien ship was diverted into the void, sparing Earth from imminent devastation. The aftermath. The victory was hard-earned. Earth's shipyards and factories went into overdrive, preparing for the inevitable Denobulan retaliation. Dr. Elena Ivanova and her team of xenotechnologists worked tirelessly, reverse engineering captured alien technology to enhance Earth's defenses. Meanwhile, Commander Miller was summoned to an emergency council session. The United Earth Council, while grateful for the victory, voiced concerns about future attacks. John proposed a surgical strike on the Denobulan staging system to cripple their war efforts. After hours of debate, the Council authorized a special task force under Miller's command. As John prepared for the upcoming mission, he encountered his son, Lieutenant Alex Miller, who had requested to join the operation despite their strained relationship. The father-son dynamic added an emotional layer to the impending battle. Into the breach. The human fleet, now equipped with upgraded technology, set out to confront the Denobulans once more. The fleet's advanced weapons and shields were put to the test as they engaged a Denobulan scouting party. The battle was fierce, with both sides trading devastating blows. Amid the chaos, Alex's ship pursued a fleeing denobulan vessel, defying orders to return to formation. John watched in horror as Alex's ship engaged in a high-stakes dogfight with denobulan fighters. Despite the young pilot's skill, his ship was heavily damaged and began to drift helplessly. Torn between his duty and his son's peril, John made a crucial decision. He ordered his flagship, the Indomitable, to assist Alex, leading a desperate rescue operation. The final confrontation. John Miller's intervention saved Alex, but the battle continued. The human fleet pressed forward, splitting into two groups, one to distract the denobulan forces and the other to infiltrate the denobulan command station. Alex led the infiltration team, navigating through the chaos of battle to reach the heavily defended command structure. The infiltration was fraught with danger as denobulan fighters engaged the team. Alex's ship sustained heavy damage, and he was forced to rely on his father's flagship for support. The Indomitable maneuvered through enemy fire to protect the stricken ship, and John, donning a spacesuit, conducted a daring spacewalk to reach Alex's vessel. The dawn of a new era. The infiltration team's mission succeeded, but the cost was high. The final confrontation with the denobulan Armada was a test of human resilience and resolve. The battle raged on as the human fleet faced overwhelming numbers. Despite their advanced technology and fierce determination, the losses were significant. As the battle concluded, John Miller grappled with the loss of his son and the heavy burden of command. The victory was bittersweet, marked by the sacrifice of those who had fought bravely. The human fleet, though battered, emerged victorious, having proved their indomitable spirit in the face of seemingly insurmountable odds. With the denobulan threat temporarily quelled, Earth began to rebuild and prepare for future challenges. John Miller, haunted by the memory of his son and the war's toll, resolved to continue fighting for the future of humanity. The indomitable human spirit had prevailed, but the galaxy remained a place of constant conflict and uncertainty. The final gambit. The battle raged on as the human fleet engaged the denobulan Armada, the chaos of combat a relentless storm of fire and destruction. Commander John Miller, aboard the Indomitable, was torn between the pressing need to finish the mission and the desperate urge to save his son. With a heavy heart, John made the agonizing decision to prioritize the rescue of Alex, risking the success of their entire operation. John maneuvered the Indomitable through the inferno of battle, its advanced shields flickering under the constant barrage of denobulan fire. The massive battleship surged forward, cutting through the enemy lines to reach Alex's crippled fighter. The dense cloud of enemy fire illuminated the space around them, a dazzling yet deadly display of alien weaponry. Inside the Indomitable's command center, the atmosphere was tense. Lieutenant Commander Ravi Singh managed the ship's operations with cool efficiency, barking orders as the crew worked tirelessly to keep the ship in fighting shape. Despite the chaotic conditions, Ravi's calm demeanor was a source of steady support for the crew. As John approached Alex's stricken ship, he donned his spacesuit, the tight fit a stark contrast to the chaos unfolding outside. He activated his suit's thrusters and propelled himself through the void, navigating the deadly battlefield with practiced precision. The massive frame of the Indomitable loomed nearby, its hull pitted with scorch marks from enemy fire. John reached Alex's damaged fighter, the once sleek vessel now a battered wreck. The cockpit was partially shattered, and the pilot's seat was eerily still. John carefully attached himself to the fighter's hull, using a tether to secure his position. He pried open the cockpit, revealing Alex, who was unconscious but alive. With great effort, John pulled his son from the damaged cockpit and into the safety of his own suit. "Alex, wake up, son," John shouted through his helmet's communicator, his voice cracking with a mix of relief and fear. Alex's eyes fluttered open, and he looked up at his father, his face a mixture of pain and confusion. "Dad, what are you doing here?" Alex's voice was weak, but filled with a flicker of defiance. "I'm not leaving you behind," John said firmly. "We're getting out of here." "Hold on." John guided Alex towards the Indomitable, every movement a struggle against the vacuum of space and the still constant enemy fire. The Denobulan fighters were relentless, their pursuit undeterred by the presence of the human battleship. As John and Alex approached the Indomitable, the ship's weapons continued to blaze, covering their escape with a curtain of fire. Back on the Indomitable, Ravi's voice crackled over the comms. "Commander, we got incoming. The Denobulans are closing in on your position." John's heart raced as he pulled Alex into the airlock of the Indomitable. The doors sealed behind them, and the decompression alarm sounded, signaling the end of their spacewalk. John and Alex were quickly escorted to the med bay, where Dr. Elena Ivanova and her team began to assess Alex's injuries. As the medical team worked, John stood outside the med bay, his mind racing with thoughts of the mission and the fate of his son. He knew that the final push against the Denobulan command station was crucial. They had to strike at the heart of the enemy's operations to ensure their victory. In the heart of the Indomitable, John convened a strategy meeting with his senior officers. The holographic display projected a detailed schematic of the Denobulan command station, its defenses formidable but not insurmountable. "All right, listen up," John began, his voice resolute. "We're going to execute a two-pronged assault. The main fleet will continue to engage the Denobulan forces, drawing their attention away from our primary objective. Meanwhile, a specialized team will infiltrate the command station and take out their leadership." Ravi and the other officers nodded, their faces a mix of determination and apprehension. "What's the status of our forces?" Ravi asked. "The fleet is holding steady," John replied. "We've sustained some damage, but our upgrades are holding up. The Denobulans are being pushed back, but they're still a formidable opponent. We need to act quickly and decisively." As the meeting concluded, John returned to the med bay to check on Alex. The medical team had stabilized him, but he still had a long road to recovery. Alex's eyes met John's, filled with a mixture of gratitude and regret. "I'm sorry, Dad," Alex said weakly. "I should have listened to you." John took Alex's hand, his own eyes misty with unused tears. "No, Alex, you did what you thought was right. We're a family, and we fight together. We'll get through this." With Alex stable and the plan in place, John prepared to lead the final assault on the Denobulan command station. The human fleet, battered but unbowed, surged forward, their weapons blazing with renewed fury. The Denobulan defenses were fierce, but John's determination was unshakable. As the fleet closed in on the command station, John's resolve hardened. The final battle would determine the fate of humanity and the outcome of the war. Victory was within reach, but it would come at a steep price. The Denobulan command station loomed ahead, a colossal structure bristling with weaponry and defenses. John steeled himself for the battle to come, knowing that the sacrifices made would shape the future of their world. The human fleet braced for the final clash, their spirits undaunted as they faced the Denobulan juggernaut. The galaxy watched as the fate of two civilizations hung in the balance, the outcome of this epic struggle uncertain but fiercely contested. The galactic turning point. As the conflict raged on, the balance of power began to shift dramatically. The once dominant Federation forces found themselves on the defensive, grappling with the fallout from humanity's unexpected resurgence. The human victories, fueled by their immunity and strategic brilliance, had far-reaching implications for the broader galactic landscape. Commander Elena Rodriguez continued to lead with unparalleled skill, orchestrating a series of operations that disrupted the Federation's command structure and supply lines. Her strategies not only capitalized on human immunity, but also employed psychological warfare to erode the morale of the alien troops. The tide of the war was turning, and the aliens were forced to reconsider their approach. Amidst this upheaval, the Federation's High Command convened an emergency summit. Alien leaders from various species gathered to address the crisis. The Federation had always prided itself on its unity and superiority, But the mounting losses had exposed deep fractures within their coalition. Some factions began to question the effectiveness of their approach, while others clung desperately to their old strategies. The Federation's desperation led to a series of unprecedented measures. They attempted to deploy more advanced, experimental technologies in a bid to regain the upper hand. These technologies were designed to counter human immunity, but their effectiveness remained uncertain. The aliens were now engaged in a race against time, trying to develop solutions before their position became untenable. In contrast, humanity's unity and determination remained unwavering. The human forces, buoyed by their recent successes, continued to innovate and adapt. New alliances formed, and previously underestimated human factions began to play crucial roles in the conflict. The cooperation among different human groups showcased their collective strength and commitment to victory. One of the most significant developments was the formation of a coalition of human and allied species. Recognizing the value of collaboration, the humans reached out to other species who had been oppressed or marginalized by the Federation. This coalition not only provided additional support, but also symbolized a broader resistance against the Federation's tyranny. The unity of diverse species under a common cause added a new dimension to the conflict, shifting it from a war of survival to a battle for liberation. The turning point came with the Battle of Xantor, a decisive confrontation that would determine the fate of the galaxy. The Federation, desperate to reclaim its dominance, launched a massive offensive against the human-led coalition. The battle was fierce and brutal, with both sides deploying their most advanced technologies and strategies. In the heat of the battle, Commander Rodriguez executed a daring maneuver that would become legendary. She orchestrated a coordinated assault on the Federation's flagship, the pinnacle of their technological prowess. The human forces, equipped with alien technology and guided by Rodriguez's strategic brilliance, penetrated the flagship's defenses and inflicted critical damage. The destruction of the flagship was a monumental blow to the Federation. It not only crippled their command structure, but also sent a clear message. Humanity had not only survived, but thrived against all odds. The Federation's forces, demoralized and disoriented, began to retreat, marking the significant shift in the war's momentum. In the aftermath of the Battle of Xantor, the galaxy faced a new reality. The Federation's dominance was shattered, and the once unchallenged regime now faced the prospect of negotiating with the coalition of liberated species. The balance of power had shifted, and the galaxy was on the brink of a new era. Humanity's role in this transformation was profound. Their resilience, ingenuity, and unwavering spirit had not only changed the course of the conflict, but had also reshaped the galactic order. The story of their struggle and triumph became a beacon of hope and inspiration for all who had suffered under tyranny. The battle was not yet over, but the narrative had irrevocably changed. Humanity had proven that even the most daunting challenges could be overcome through unity, innovation, and an indomitable will. The galaxy now looked toward a future where the lessons of the past would guide the path to a more equitable and just existence. The dawn of a new era. With the Federation's retreat and the shattering of their command structure, the galaxy stood on the cusp of profound change. The once unassailable power of the Federation had been broken, and the remnants of their forces were scattered across the stars. The humans and their allies had achieved what many thought impossible. They had turned the tide of a galactic conflict and emerged victorious. In the wake of the Battle of Xantor, the newly formed coalition of human and allied species took the lead in reshaping the galaxy's future. The leaders of the coalition, including Commander Elena Rodriguez, met to discuss the next steps. Their goal was to build a lasting peace and prevent the rise of another tyrannical regime. The coalition's first priority was to address the needs of those who had suffered under Federation rule. Human and alien diplomats worked together to establish relief programs, provide aid to displaced populations, and begin the process of reconstruction. The emphasis was on healing old wounds and fostering cooperation among species that had previously been at odds. As part of the reconstruction efforts, a series of interspecies councils were formed. These councils aimed to ensure that all voices were heard and that decisions were made in the spirit of fairness and equality. The councils also worked to address long-standing grievances and to create frameworks for resolving disputes peacefully. The goal was to build a new order based on mutual respect and collaboration, rather than domination and control. One of the most significant achievements of the post-war period was the establishment of the Galactic Council. This new governing body was designed to represent all species, with equal representation for each. The Council's primary functions were to mediate conflicts, oversee the implementation of new policies, and promote interspecies understanding and cooperation. The creation of the Galactic Council marked a departure from the old Federation model, emphasizing collective decision-making and shared responsibility. Humanity's role in this new era was both pivotal and symbolic. Their remarkable victory had demonstrated the power of unity and resilience, and their commitment to building a better future was evident in their actions. Human leaders, including Rodriguez, were instrumental in shaping the policies and institutions that would define the new galactic order. The Coalition of Free Worlds, as it came to be known, became a symbol of hope and progress. Its formation was a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the capacity for positive change, even in the face of overwhelming adversity. The coalition worked tirelessly to address the legacy of the Federation's oppression and to promote a vision of a more inclusive and equitable galaxy. In the years that followed, the galaxy began to heal. Former enemies became allies, and once hostile worlds found common ground. The cooperative spirit that emerged from the conflict led to new technological advancements and cultural exchanges. Humanity, once seen as a wild card, had proven to be a valuable and respected member of the galactic community. The story of humanity's rise from the brink of destruction to a position of prominence became legendary. It was told and retold as a beacon of inspiration, reminding all species of the power of perseverance and the importance of working together. The legacy of the conflict served as a reminder that even in the darkest times, hope and determination could lead to a brighter future. As the galaxy looked ahead, it did so with the knowledge that its past struggles had paved the way for a more harmonious and prosperous existence. The lessons learned from the conflict would guide future generations, ensuring that the mistakes of the past were not repeated. The new era, forged through struggle and sacrifice, promised a future where peace and cooperation were the guiding principles. Humanity's story was not just about victory over an adversary. It was about the transformative power of unity and the enduring strength of the human spirit. It was a story that would inspire generations to come, a testament to the idea that even the most daunting challenges could be overcome when faced with courage and solidarity.